All right, guys, welcome to the webinar. And if you have showed up on time, I want to really thank you for being here. And I want you to know that your time is not something that I take lightly. I think time is the most valuable commodity in this world, and that is something that we all really treasure as salespeople. So, firstly, I want to thank you and recognize you for showing up on time for this webinar. And in this webinar, I'm going to show you the exact system that I've used to get more leads in the next 30 days than the past 6 months combined. And what that means is this: whatever business you are in, as long as you are in a business that requires more clients, requires more profits, this is the bottom line. More leads will result in more sales, and more sales will result naturally in more profits. And before I even get started on the exact system that I've used, I want to first share with you something really special. And I know most of you who are watching this, you're actually financial advisors. And that is why I've prepared a very simple extract of my own research that I want to share with you. And these are information that I've spent a lot of time, me and my team together, we have spent a lot of time to put together. And I want to actually let you have a glimpse of what could be possible in your marketplace. So right now, as I'm speaking, these are some of the ads that are running in your marketplace, whether it is savings plans or elder shield specialists. And these are some of the different things that people out there are actually doing to get traction, to create the leads that they can actually sell their services to. And the reason for me to show you this is not really so much on the specifics. And once again, I do not own these ads, so that's just a very quick clarification. But I wanted to show you what could be possible in your marketplace and how there are people actually crushing it. So these are some of the very, very quick examples. The one on the left, you can see it's one that is more of a direct approach that is actually selling promoting a savings plan. And the one on the right is actually a more specific one that is targeted very, very clearly at a very specific product that's offered by life insurance agents. And on the next page, you can see that these are also ads that I would say are more direct in nature. And again, you can see that they are very, very product focused, which I believe has its pros and cons. But again, I wanted to show you this to show you the possibility of what could be possible if you actually start leveraging on social media to create the leads for your business. And you can see the one on the left is more towards retirement, and that really targets towards investments, towards savings, and towards the amount of returns people can get when they work with this particular page or this particular company. And the one on the right, it's more niche towards the expatriate in Singapore. So that is a very audience-centric targeting. And after I've showed you all these different things, right, there's one more very valuable tip that I want to give it to you. And here's how it actually goes. Right now, most of you are looking at this because you actually came to my page, which is called the Leads Machine. What you can do is you can go to any pages. For example, some of the examples I've shown here, if you can see the pages, you can go to any page on Facebook, and Facebook introduced this algorithm about 3 months back. It's called info and ads. So you can go to any page and click on info and ads. That is where you can see the exact advertisements that your competitors or your colleagues or whoever it is are running. And I can tell you that the top performers is in every single space that I know of. The top performers, they always have a very sound social media strategy that's working for them. That's something that I've always stood by, and that's something I believe will be even more common in the next 3 to 5 years to come, as this whole marketplace is getting more and more saturated with lead generation. All right, and now let's get right into the webinar proper. I want you to know that social media is not something that is new. Many people think that social media marketing won't work for them because they think that it is something that's new. It is something that's introduced only in the recent years to come. But let me reassure you that social media marketing is 10% technology and 90% psychology. What that means is whatever current methods of lead generation you're using, whether it's cold calling, referrals, your warm market, you do active prospecting, street canvassing, roadshows, whatever kind of methods you are doing, I want you to understand that when you move on to social media marketing, you are keeping 90% of the essence of what makes it work in a traditional lead generation method. The only difference is that now you're using a far more targeted and far more effective vehicle where people's attention are naturally already on in this era, and that is called social media. So once you understand that, you will know that there is no difference actually, and that is why social media marketing will work for you as long as you're in a business that requires the direct attention of a consumer, which is pretty much most of the B2C businesses out there. And that is why I'm so confident that social media will actually work for you. And in this very particular webinar, I'm going to show you how you can get more leads in the next 30 days than you have did for the past 6 months combined through social media without having to cold call, active prospect, do any referrals or attend any kind of networking events. And the first thing I want to introduce you to is actually my story and how it got started, right? I think most of you may be wondering who is this guy and how it got started. So my name is Samuel, and one thing you want to know about me is that 95% of my customers are people I did not know before. What that means is I've been in 6 different businesses across the past 4 years, and in every single business, I've managed to create traction, and I've managed to create a system whereby I could sell my product very easily to people that I don't know, people that I didn't have a prior relationship with. And that is all due to my ability to generate leads in a very sequential manner, which I'll be showing you in just a minute. And I want to assure you that whatever I'm going to speak to you about, it is a strategy that's going to work even if you are new in your space, even if you do not consider yourself to be the best, or even if you're not the cheapest, even if you do not have a website, and in fact you do not need a website, I will show you why later on. And even if you don't want to overly expose your identity, some of you may be in some industries which are a little bit more sensitive, for example, the financial industry, but you don't have to expose your identity, and this will work for you even if you have dabbled with content marketing, blogging, or a whole bunch of other non-result producing marketing activities. And to prove to you this strategy, I'm going to break it down in a very systematic way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 3 secrets to massive lead generation on social media, which is what I call building a leads machine. And these are the 3 different things I'm going to move into, and I want you to pay really close attention. And as I'm speaking, I want you to see which one of it applies specifically to you. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be all 3 of them. So I want you to pay close attention. And by now, if you haven't, I want you to take a pen and paper and start taking very, very close notes, because I'll be dropping many, many valuable pointers that you can pick on immediately and actually use it in your lead generation approach for your business. So the first secret is this: relying solely on your warm market referrals and cold calling is not a sustainable mode of doing business. What do I mean by that? Let me quote you an example. Can you think of the last time you actually cold called someone? Or maybe the last time you were cold called by someone. How did that feel? What was the feeling like? Did you feel comfortable doing it? Was it a feeling of confidence? Or was it more of a feeling of skepticism, whether you're the one being cold called or whether you're the one cold calling? And what I always tell people that I work with, my mentees, my students, my clients, is this: the minute you cold call, you lose all your positioning. And look, I'm not saying that cold calling is bad, right? There's a time and place for it, and cold calling is indeed a strategy that has worked, that has allowed many, many salespeople across generations to build their business on. But what I'm saying is, in this era where the majority of attention is on social media, and when people are less and less receptive to calling, and that is very clearly demonstrated by the DNC that the government has put on, and a whole bunch of other regulations that want to prevent people from doing cold calling. So what I'm saying is, when you keep doing that in an increasingly saturated marketplace, you will find that the effort to the result ratio is getting more and more ridiculous. And some of you may say that, but well, isn't sales the law of large numbers? Yes, that is true to a specific extent, but just think about it. If you purely go by the law of large numbers, and if you purely operate your entire business model on coincidence and luck of getting an interested prospect, how sustainable do you think that is? How far do you think you can push that to? And that is why, while I agree that sales to a certain extent is the law of large numbers, but I think more importantly and more accurately, it should be the law of correct numbers. Meaning you want to go for quantity, there's a ratio, there's a closing rate and everything, but you want to go for people within your target market and not just everybody by coincidence, right? You want to have a very specific strategy that approaches a specific group of people that you want in your target market. Because let's face it, if you're doing cold calling, there's no way you can segment your prospects. If you're getting people from an 18-year-old poly kid to like a 60-year-old grandma, there's no way you can be effective in your pitch because it is just so drastic. How are you going to pitch to both ends of the spectrum that convincingly? You can't. Even if you're the best salesperson, I'm very, very sure that you cannot. Because ultimately, sales is about being able to convey your message across effectively, and you only can do that if you have a very specific target audience. Meaning you're going to be very clear of who you serve. If you serve everybody, then that doesn't make sense, because how convincing can you be to everybody? There's no one salesperson that can convince every single one, but there's a salesperson that can convince people specifically in their target audience, and that is what I'm talking about. So that is the reason why cold calling doesn't work as much anymore. And I want you to think of the top performer in your space right now, whether it's someone who is earning 10 times more than you, or whether it's someone who is earning 100 times more than you, and they're doing the exact same job as you. They're promoting the exact same service. They're just doing whatever you're doing. Just ask yourself, do you really think that they're working 10 times, 100 times higher than you? You know the answer. The answer is no. Obviously, they're not working 10 times, 20 times, 100 times higher than you. And perhaps you could be even working harder than them. So that boils down to the fact that you can ask yourself, what is the difference? How come there are people performing at that level and I am seemingly working as hard as them, if not harder than them? How am I not performing at the level? And that is when you realize that 99% of these performers that I've just spoke about, these people, they always have a proven lead generation strategy behind them that is through social media, that is through a very sequential method of getting targeted audience. And for now, in this era, the only method I know of is social media marketing. And last but not least, let's not even go into this. How many of you have attended networking events just in hopes of getting 1 to 2 skeptical prospects? I mean, you know how that stuff works. And at most networking events, the problem is that most people there are trying to have the same objective of selling to people. And that is why it really doesn't work anymore. It really doesn't work. Even if it works here and there, even you would agree that it is just not a sustainable strategy, all right? So that's secret number 1. And secret number 2 is the fact that you do not need years of experience, tons of testimonies, or be the best in the industry to get tons of leads. And I'm going to let you in on a secret that I found out pretty early on in my career. I'm going to let you in on this big secret that you need to write down right now. And this statement itself will save you a ton of money and will make you a ton of money. It has made me a ton of money. And this statement, I want you to watch closely. This statement is this: do not solve a marketing problem with knowledge. Right now, if you have problem getting clients, if you have problem getting leads, how many of you have done this before? You have no appointments, you have no leads, you have no clients, and then you tell yourself, oh, that must be because I'm not experienced, that must be because I'm not good enough, and therefore you go and brush up your knowledge. You learn more things, you get more certification, you become better at what you do. You do a whole bunch of things, and then you come back, and you still have no clients, and you still just go back to brushing up your knowledge and your skill set. It is not about that. You can't solve a marketing problem with knowledge. If you're not good at marketing, if you're not good at getting clients, you need to solve it for what it is. You can't solve this by tweaking the end process of the sales process, right? Which is the closing part where you need your knowledge and everything. Because ultimately, if you're not getting a lead, I don't care if you're the best salesperson, I don't care if you're the best at what you do, nobody's ever going to know. And let me prove this to you, let me qualify this to you in the form of an example. Look at the iPhone, for example. Is this the best phone? Ask yourself objectively, is this the best phone? Is this the best phone in terms of technical specifications, in terms of pricing, in terms of value for money? Is this the best phone? I'm an iPhone user myself, and I can tell you very frankly that nobody cares. Because ultimately, what iPhone as a company, or what Apple as a company, or what Steve Jobs have done is he has been able to articulate his vision, he's able to market this product to people, and he's able to sell them on the vision of what Apple strives to achieve. And as to whether Apple is really the best phone or not, that is something that honestly, people just don't talk about it. I mean, when was the last time you heard people talking about the technical specification of iPhone? Yes, from iPhone to iPhone, they have some very minor changes, but we all know that the premium in pricing for an iPhone is not based on quality, it's based on marketing. All right, that is just a fact. And here's another fact I want to let you on. If you don't learn how to market yourself properly, you will be the world's best kept secret. Look at Warren Buffett, for example. Yes, he's a great investor, but if he did not know how to market himself properly, he will be the world's best investor that nobody knows about. The fact, and you can search his past interviews, Warren Buffett said this in one of his interviews. A fresh girl was asking him, what is the number one skill set I need to acquire in business? And we were all expecting Warren Buffett to say something like, oh, you got to learn how to read your financial statements, you got to learn all these different things, how you can create the returns. And those are all important. But what Warren Buffett said was that you need to learn the skill of communication and the skill of being able to sell someone on your vision. And until you have that, what you know doesn't matter. Because you cannot solve a marketing problem with knowledge. And that's secret number 2. Now, secret number 3, it is much easier to attract leads than to chase after them. For most of you who are very used to traditional modes of lead generation, where you have to chase after your leads, this may be a bit counterintuitive to you, but let me just give an example, because what I know about human is this: we don't like to be sold to, but we like to buy. What do I mean by this? When was the last time you walked into a store and a salesperson come up to you and just very enthusiastically says to you, "Hey sir, how can I help?" And when a salesperson says something like that, what happens in your mind? What happens to you subconsciously? Even when you're already buying, what happens to you? It triggers that psychological response in you that pisses you off. And you just respond and you say something like, "No, I'm just looking for something." Most of the time, you say something like this because the salesperson have already triggered a very psychological response in you to react in that manner. And that's what happens to most salespeople. They keep chasing their leads, they keep chasing their leads, they keep prospecting, they keep cold calling. And what they don't know is the more they want it, the more they're chasing away their clients. And that is why the solution is no longer to chase, no longer to cold call, no longer to prospect, but I want you to instead attract the leads to you. Create a system that will attract the leads to you. Because only when you are able to attract the leads, you are the true authority. And when only you are the authority, only when you are perceived as authority in your market space, that is where you can truly serve and help your clients at the highest level. Because ultimately, if they don't listen to you, you cannot help them. If they don't want to buy what you have, you cannot help them. And that is just why I believe so strongly that it is always better and it's easier, much more logical to attract leads than to have to chase after them. And with that, I sum up the 3 secrets to massive lead generation. Number 1, relying on your warm market referrals and cold calling is not a sustainable mode of doing business. You need to build a truly predictable lead flow that where you can put in $1 and get $2 out. And the only way is through social media marketing. And secret number 2, you do not need years of experience, tons of testimonials, or be the best in your industry to get a ton of leads. And that is because you can't solve a marketing problem with knowledge. And secret number 3, it is far easier to attract leads than to chase after them. As counterintuitive as that may sound, once you have learned how to position yourself properly, you no longer need to prospect or chase your leads. And now that you have got these 3 secrets, you have 2 options. Number 1, you can take whatever I've shared with you and try and apply it by yourself and try and watch some YouTube videos here and there, try and apply it, and that's great. But I can tell you that from my experience, having a mentor guide you, giving you the exact step-by-step is going to be a lot easier. And that is why for some of you who may be interested, I also want to offer you to get on a call with me. And on this call, we'll talk about the 3 steps to building a leads machine specifically for your business. You see, in this webinar, I've given you some great value, but again, there's a lot of things that I cannot mention over the webinar. And even if I do, it doesn't make sense because it may not cater directly to your business model. And that is why for the ones who are interested, I want to offer to let you get on a call with me where we'll talk about the 3 things of building, the 3 steps to building a leads machine. Number 1, creating a strong offer. What can you offer to your prospect, to your leads, to your future clients that they can't refuse? That is the key here. You want to have a very strong offer that can arouse the interest of your prospect. And that's not all. Because number 2, you will then need to qualify them. How do you qualify your prospect in a very seamless manner where they don't even know they're being qualified? How can you sieve out buying information from them so that you know that by the time you meet a prospect, the person is ready to buy? And number 3, and I can tell you that this part is what many other lead generation gurus out there don't do, and it's called the closing. You see, so many leads guru out there, they will tell you, I can get you the lead, I can sell you the lead, I can do all these different things for you. But what they don't focus on is the closing portion. And in my opinion, what happens is if you don't know how to close, then your lead generation strategy will not work. Because ultimately, it's not about trying to get leads for the cheapest cost. It is about trying to maximize the value of your leads. And in marketing, we all know that the person who can pay the most for a lead will win. That means the better you are at closing, the stronger your lead generation system will be. And that is something that I cover in my core as well. And I really like the cat off the back. So I usually charge 1,000 per hour for consulting. But for the next 5 person to book this call, I'll be giving you a very, very special offer. But before that, I want you to know that this call is not for everybody. It's only for the business owners, entrepreneur, coaches, consultants, service provider who solves a real need in the market. You have a legal and ethical offering. You are coachable, and you are willing to invest time and money into a leads machine that will create the stream of qualified leads for you to scale your business 2x to 10x or even beyond in the next 30 days. And if that is you, I want to offer you to hop on this call with me. It's going to be for free, only for the first 5 people, and you can click somewhere on the screen. It should be out by now to book the call with me. And once you have booked the call, you'll be taken to an application page. We have to fill in some details. So be sure to do that as well, because if you don't do that, your call will be forfeited. So be sure to do that. And once you've done that, I look forward to seeing you on the call. And just to share with you, these are some of the results that my clients or my mentees have gotten after the call with me. And as you can see over here, this is one of the campaigns that we've run. Now, I cannot show you the exact name and everything because that is confidential, but these are the results that I can share with you. And if you get on a call, I probably can share a bit more details, but for now, these are the numbers that I can share with you. As you can see, we've gotten 1.6K leads for this particular client. This is actually a financial advisor. And you can see that the cost per lead is actually pretty decent. And this is the results that we've been able to generate for this particular client. And you can see 1.6K leads. In another campaign, we got about 780 messaging replies. Basically, a messaging replies is like, for Leads Machine, I've also used messaging as my campaign objective. So you as you're watching this, you probably came in from my messenger, right? So this is considered one messaging reply. And you can imagine if you got 1.6K messaging reply, that's already more than enough to 10x your business, whatever business you're doing, right? So that's the power of social media marketing. And some other results that our clients got, you can see 138 messaging replies, 91 leads, 301 messaging replies. And I don't want to go too much into the details of this because, again, I want to customize whatever I say to your business model. And I do know that for those of you who are watching this, you may all come from different industries. And I want to make sure that I only give you the most accurate information after understanding what are the struggles that you're facing and where you're trying to get on the call. All right, so I'll be doing all this on the call. If you're interested, you can book the call right now, and I will be looking forward to speak to you very, very soon. And one last question that I want to address before I get off is, how am I different? How am I different from all the other lead generation coaches out there? How am I different from the typical lead generation agency? How am I different from all the other marketing gurus out there that claim that they are gurus? How am I different from all of them? And there are many ways that I can differentiate myself, but ultimately, if there's one thing I want you to know me by, it is this one word that makes me different. And it is called monetization. In every one of my strategies, I always think the most about monetization. What do I mean? Every lead generation strategy to me has this phase called a proof of concept. And a proof of concept only happens when you close the first deal and when the money is made. What that means is my approach toward lead generation is like that. My job is not done until I have successfully created that closure for you. Meaning I will guide you from all the way to getting a leads to actually getting a closure, getting the money paid to you. And when I say closure, I mean your new client paying you the money. I don't mean meeting you, appointments, signing a contract. All this doesn't matter. I mean the actual monetization. And that is why people know me for this one thing that I do. I focus a lot on monetization because ultimately, if you're in business, the bottom line of your business is profits. If you can't make profits, if you can't monetize, if you can't make money fast enough, there is no need to talk about a website. There's no need to talk about branding. There's no need to talk about anything else. And that is why in my lead generation strategy, or at least in the first phase, I do not care about websites. I do not care about branding. I do not care about anything else other than monetization. Because before you get your proof of concept, which is closing your very first client from the leads you get from social media, everything else I can tell you right now, it is not important. It is not important. Anybody who tells you to create a landing page for spend a few months to work on a perfect landing page or spend a few months to work on a perfect website before you get started on your lead generation, that is not my approach. That's not how I feel it should be done. That's not how I do it. Maybe it works for someone else, it doesn't work for me. When it comes to me, I focus clearly on monetization. I'll give you the exact strategy on how you can start making money from the leads that we are going to generate, and from there, how you can reinvest and scale up your business. That's how I do it, all right? So that's the one thing that's different about me. And if there's something that you appreciate, if you appreciate someone who is very results-driven, someone who is able to align their interests directly with yours, someone who is able to get you to the next level through a very systematic approach to getting leads, which is what I call a leads machine, then you are the right person that I want to speak with. So if that is you, you can book your free call right now, and I look forward to speaking with you on Skype. So once you've clicked on the free call, you will be taken to an application page. By now, some of you have already filled that in. I want you to fill in the Google Forms to your best ability. And once you have done that, the next thing you need to do, and probably the last thing you need to do, is to show up on Skype on time. And I look forward to having a great call with you where I'll show you step by step how you can be the next top performer in your space through a leads machine. All right, I believe that my job here is done. Yours has just begun. I hope to see you on a call very, very soon. Cheers, it's Samuel, and I wish you all the best in your business. I believe my job machine is done. Let me just begin.